Hello, this is Alex Calvo Garcia. You're listening to the Iron Hour podcast.
Good evening, Iron fans, or good afternoon, or good morning, whenever you're listening to this, whenever you're watching this. This is another edition of the Iron Hour podcast. Our podcast coming thick and fast, just like the Scunthorpe United games, just like the Scunthorpe United wins and the clean sheets. But I'm sure we'll come on to that later. I'm your standing host, Max Bell. Unfortunately, our usual host, Andy, couldn't make it, so I'm more than happy to be a pale imitation. I certainly can't run like Andy, so we'll see how the podcast goes. But I'm very, very happy to say that I'm joined by two of our finest usual guests. Marco, everybody's favourite Italian pizza chef. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Quite refreshing to say I'm in a good mood again on the podcast. Long way to continue.
Excellent. Very, very glad to hear it. I'm sure the Irons win against Curzon on Tuesday. Is in no small part responsible for that. And everybody's favourite, well, just person. I don't know if he's got any Italian blood in him, but he's certainly got some Yorkshire blood in him. Gareth, Iron Army, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I've definitely got no Italian blood on me. I think I've got Spanish somewhere.
Ooh.
So, but I'm doing really well, thank you. Had a good day at work. And, doing well. How are you doing?
Yeah, not so bad. I think I've also had a good day at work. I don't have any Italian blood on me, sadly, but or Spanish for that matter. But, such is life. Irish will have to do. Right, well, that brings us swiftly on to talking about Marco being everybody's favourite Italian. Marco, I want to apologise because off air on the previous podcast, I perhaps implied that you couldn't spell Scarborough.
I've heard about this.
So I could take this two ways. I can invite you to spell Scarborough and prove to all of the listeners that I was talking out of my rear.
I've got it written down
here. Or we could just leave it at an apology and flee with our dignity.
I'll leave you to it.
Oh, thank you very much. Right, on that very, very happy spelling note, certainly my English teachers would be proud. Another win, a really good win away at Curzon, who obviously did the double over us last season. Another clean sheet. I know you were there, Marco. Perhaps a few listeners and viewers to the National League TV stream might have heard you as well. I can see Gareth chuckling. I dare say his ears are still ringing. Tell me about Tuesday night.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. So, and a massive shout out to actually Curzon as a club and the fans. I thought they were fantastic. I obviously didn't go to the Curzon game last year, so it was the first time I've been. And I know we were talking off air, Max, and you mentioned the fact their attendance sometimes being only at 250 at home. So them to achieve what they did last year was nothing short of amazing. Really impressed with the away stand and just their fans as a whole. I thought it was really good. But yeah, the night itself, look, it's a tough place to go. And again, I put on Twitter, I don't think we win that game last year. And look, to only concede one goal in our first 7 games, I think is massive credit to the lads. And you can see those last 10 minutes, although they did have chances, every single Scunthorpe player were battling for that shirt. And that's the bare minimum of what we want to see. And they're doing that at the minute.
Gareth, obviously there was a great photo of you and Marco enjoying the away end that, at least by Marco standards, practically went viral. 66 likes, I think. Sadly, not Marco's favourite number of 69 likes, but close. What was your highlight of the win on Tuesday? Was it the defending? Was it the threat from set pieces? Was it the atmosphere? What was your best bit?
The best bit was walking away with 3 points because the game itself wasn't amazing. I'm going to be honest. It was very sloppy on our part, lots of loose passes, getting caught in possession. But yeah, it was just the fact that we dug deep and came away with the 3 points, got the result because, the last 10, 15 minutes, they were throwing everything at it. Buckley Ricketts down the side. I thought if anything was going to come for them, it was going to come through him. He had a really good game. But yeah, we just dug deep. We dug in and we fought for the shirt, fought for each other. And that's basically the highlight, just watching the team perform like they did because, they were under pressure at times. And to come away with the 3 points is a massive, massive win. I know we say, that we shouldn't get carried away just yet, but beating teams like Curzon, like last season, they took 6 points off us. So to get 3 points off them this season early doors as such. It's a good thing, and it's it helps with the confidence of the team, the mentality of the team, and everything. So yeah.
Now, Marco, Gareth there highlighted the threat of Buckley Ricketts for Curzon Ashton, potentially the home side's best player. If I flip that on its head and said, gun to your head, you got to pick one Iron player for a man of the match, who would you have picked for? Who stood out to you in an Iron shirt?
The guys you mentioned, I thought it was fantastic. Buckley Ricketts was really good for them. But to be fair, off topic, I was quite impressed with them as a whole, as a team. Not just him. I've got individual. I think they'll be bang up there. From a Scunthorpe perspective, it's the first time I've given it this season, but I'd go Whitehall. I thought his work rate and his off the ball work and the way he tried holding it up, he was quite isolated at times, but I still think it's one of his best performances this season. So yeah, again, there's a lot of the back five all played well. We kept another clean sheet, but I'm going to go Whitehall.
Fair. And to be honest, I think that mirrors some of Whitehall's performances so far this season. I was really impressed with him against Kidderminster for exactly the reasons you said, working hard, good with his back to goal, keeping the centre halves occupied, winning headers, chesting it down, laying it off for players. Some of the nasty stuff that away from home on a Tuesday night goes a long, long way if you've got somebody in the final third like that. Gareth, Marco's picked Whitehall for his man of the match for Scunthorpe on Tuesday. Would you go with him as well, or would you go in a different direction?
No, I'd go with Whitehall as well. He had a tough task. He had big defenders at the back, bullying him a bit. He was bullying them back. But yeah, he held the ball up well and let others come into play. He had a few runs forward as well. But no, he looked really good. And I've been impressed with him all season, in fairness. I had somebody describe him as a giraffe to me. At the beginning of the season, they said, I don't like Whitehall. He runs around like a giraffe. And they've changed the tune since then. They've been impressed with him. So, I've always sung his praises, even last season when people weren't liking him. I just love everything he does, the shithouse stuff. It's just general play, just bringing us into play this season. It's just a different mentality for the whole team.
Yeah, go on, Marco. You're waving furiously at me.
On a side note, I thought their number 9, obviously we don't quite well at Scunthorpe, I thought Spencer did the same sort of job for them. I thought he kept our defenders really on the toes. I don't know how old he is, but he still looked like he could really do a job at that level, and surprised me how good he looked.
Yeah, and obviously, Gareth, I'm pretty sure you went to the Curzon game last season as well. How nice was it seeing that pitch not 6 foot underwater?
It was really nice. The pitch looked really good, actually. Looked really good. But yeah, it started raining with about 20, 15 minutes left. And I thought, oh, don't do it. It soon stopped. But no, it was good to see an actual game of football and the ball going forward when it was kicked forward. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think, as you say, quite a few Iron fans had that moment when it started to rain of, oh my God, please not again, for the love of God. So well done to the lads for seeing the game out. Obviously, Marco, we scored the winner from another corner. This time it was Will Evans at the back post. It's been a big threat for us so far this season, set pieces. Do you see that continuing?
Yeah, 100%. I think we mentioned it on previous podcasts for the height and size that we're sending forward from set pieces now. And whether that's with Boyce starting or Will Evans, but both big guys, you'd back any of those three, really. I know Nicholson's taking majority of the throws, but even if Nicholson's in that box from the corner, you'd be backing him as well. I think a lot of our chances and goals are going to come from set piece. I know it's not pretty, but look, we're the first to complain when it happens against us. It's something we've wanted for years, and long may it continue.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. And then I think when you couple that with defensive rigidity, when you're able to defend set pieces as well, that could potentially be a really potent mix. Well, thank you guys. That's an excellent review of the Curzon game on Tuesday night. Our next section is one that we like to run regularly. So a big shout out to Iron Stats on X, formerly known as Twitter, which is an excellent source for all Iron fans. So I really would recommend giving them a follow, or even if you're not on Twitter, they're always worth checking out after a game. So this isn't a proper quiz, but I'm going to be dead cheeky here. See if Marco's done his research. So Obviously, it puts us 6 points clear. It's also the first time ever that the Iron have won their opening 4 away games, any league season ever on record. First time that we've started the season with 4 away clean sheets, any league season on record. It's also the most clean sheets and the fewest goals that we've conceded at this stage of any season at any level on record ever. And it is our joint best start to a season, 6 wins and 1 draw. What was the only year when we've matched that record, Marco?
I'm sure I sent you this. So,
all right, then, Gareth, go on then.
Yeah, I'm going to say, if I remember it correct, I think I know.
Okay.
Long before my time.
What? So you want me to answer?
Because Marco's bluffing and pretending that he knows. So we're going to have
you it. I know it.
We're going to have you guess first, Gareth, and then we're going to see if Marco's bluffing or not. The last time and the only other time that Scunthorpe started any season with 6 wins and a draw.
I know it.
1926-27.
That might come in handy later, but no. Go on, Marco.
No, I was going to say the same thing. That's what I said. Yeah.
So close. Okay, well, according to the excellent Iron stats, it's our joint best start to a season. The only other time we've won 6 and drawn 1 was in 1954.
Oh.
So thank you very much to Iron Stats for that one. Now, they did a second tweet because they had so many stats that they couldn't fit them all in the character limits. And it's the first time that Scunthorpe have won 6 consecutive away games, obviously because we won our last 2 away games of last season and the first 4 of this one. So it's the Iron have won 6 consecutive away games for the first time since, what was the season you said, Marco?
26-27.
Correct. Excellent. Since November 1926 through to February 1927, which is all the more impressive as obviously our 6 wins at this stage have straddled across 2 seasons, whereas the previous ones didn't. We're also unbeaten in our last 12 league games, again, straddling this season and last season, which is the Irons' best run since what season, Marco?
13-14.
Correct.
I definitely sent you it.
Give the man a biscuit. There you go, ladies, gentlemen, and friends. Proof that he does occasionally do his research. For Iron fans lucky enough to remember, from November 2013 till April 2014, the Iron went unbeaten for a whopping 28 games under the legendary Russ Wilcox. So if we are going to match that record, or heaven forbid beat it, there's a long way to go just yet for the Iron. But no, thank you very much to Iron Stats for 6 even rather. Absolutely terrific updates on how well we're doing so far this season. So fingers crossed we'll be breaking a lot more new ground as we carry on. Again, hopefully still up at the top of the table in the National League North. Now, speaking of being top of tables, Marco, FPL, give us an update, baby.
Oh, right. So I think we mentioned on Twitter a couple of days ago. Again, massive shout out to everyone who's in. It was 264 people in the Iron Hour League at the minute. Which
264, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Look, we've got at the top, it's unchanged at the top. Lucy Foster, we mentioned on Twitter a couple of days ago, managed a whopping 110 points with no triple captain.
Ooh.
She just had a great week. She had all the big hitters. Yeah, obviously, Haaland seems to be scoring more hat tricks than not at the minute, which is concerning. So yeah, Lucy, top points getter. Massive shout out for Mikey. I know he put a picture on spending his price for the best team name on Twitter of Kelly Yugoslavia. Massive well done for that. I hope you enjoyed your cheeky Nando's with the lads. But that will not go unnoticed at the fact that he's in 254th place. So although he's got the best team name, the team might need some work. And I think it sounds like he's still got Kelly Yuga playing somehow. So then at the bottom, we've got David Theobald, who is struggling, and he's only got a minor 107 points, and he's going down. He's struggling. So a lot of work to do for David, but yeah, pretty much unchanged. as I say, there's a lot of people don't have Haaland, so it's quite good at the minute. Regarding the podcast,
Oh yes,
like
the real drama. Who's doing the least crap out of all of us?
I don't think there'll be any shocks here. So obviously, it was no secret that Becky fancies herself as a manager, and she is top of the pod. So by quite a few points as well. So she's took an early lead. Then we have Mr. I Don't Watch Premier League in second, Gareth. Which is more concerning, but I'm not next either. When we've got Max.
In the bronze medal, I'll take bronze medal.
I mean, I may have to do some serious scrolling, but Barrett is there in 200th. So yeah, again, it's early days. Much like Scunthorpe's League, it's early days. But I think.
So hang on, are you saying you're bringing up the rear in fifth?
No, I'm just above Barrett.
Oh, phew! Thank God for that.
Quite a few places above Barrett. Barrett is down there, but again, it's early days, and yeah, thanks everyone for playing. There will be some more prizes and everything on the way, so keep listening.
Excellent, yeah, and as Marco said there, massive congratulations to Mikey Wright, who made really good use of his Nando's gift voucher. So goes to show if you want a dinner out, the fantasy league is the place to be, because even if you are in 250th, I think they said
254.
Oh, even worse, out of 254 out of 264.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I think he's got Kelly Uger up front. Never mind. But no, very, very seriously, massive congratulations, and thank you to everyone taking part. I know that we were pushing for 200 teams, really, which would have still been an increase on last season. So the fact that we've managed to get 264 is is terrific. So thank you very much for the update, Marco. And now, in terms of other potential fabulous prizes, just got one quick thing to promote. I'm sure regular listeners of here, or Iron fans generally, people who go on the coach to the odd away game, will know the great Stuart Moore, Scunthorpe United fan, who's done fabulous amounts of fundraising for the club over the last few months. He's organised a Christmas quiz. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to win, but Gareth, do you think we're going to win the Christmas quiz?
I don't think it. I know it. Yes.
Yes.
We're up for it. We're up for it.
Excellent. As you may have guessed from that, we as the podcast have entered the team. There are still spots available. It's raising money for the club. That there will be prizes on offer. And look, if our form come Christmas is as good as it is now, it'll be a great atmosphere around the place. You might even get to see Marco after a couple of drinks.
I'd say there's a good potential there.
Now, if that's not the spirit of Christmas, I don't know what is. So if you message Stuart Moore on Facebook, or if you haven't got him, come and grab any of us at a game, or if you message the podcast on Twitter or our new Facebook page. Marco, do you want to plug the podcast new Facebook page?
Yeah, like I said, we're getting so many followers on Twitter, and the listens have been amazing. So we thought a lot of people don't use X or Twitter, so we're now across on Facebook. It's the same tag, I Know a Podcast. It's really new, but there'll be people who watch Gareth's vlog. The videos will be going live on there, but not live. They will be going on there as soon as they're released. As with our podcasts, any news regarding charity games coming up or Christmas quizzes, everything will be on the Facebook. So definitely worth a follow, and just another alternative to see what we're all up to.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll be able to put the link to the Facebook page in the description for this, Gareth, I think.
We can do that, definitely. Yeah.
Excellent. And for anybody who's perhaps a bit of an iPad lover, a bit of an iMac, I believe we also discovered the other week that we are, in fact, on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, we are.
Which, sorry, Gareth, say that again.
I said that was unbeknown to me, but we are.
That's how much of a celebrity that Gareth is, and a tech wizard, that even the ghost of Steve Jobs, Apple, has gone, oh, we've got to get that on. We've got to get that on. We can't do without them. So if anybody out there does listen to us on Apple, let us know and we'll give you a shout out next time we get the chance. And
can I just say that somehow we've been in the top 100 twice as well.
Woo!
What's all that about?
Effortless, absolutely effortless.
Which,
trying
to say that to get Scunthorpe 100th in the Football League pyramid, we'd have to be 8th in the National League. So, if the fact that we've managed to get into the top 100 twice, we're punching at least a division above. And I know that's going to be just the start of things, because we've got a couple of special podcasts lined up, and we'll make sure that we keep things interesting. So, thank you very much for that. As you say, we've entered the team in the Christmas quiz. Message Stuart Moore or message the podcast. Invite your friends, your family, your work colleagues, your Grimsby supporting sister-in-law, whoever it might be. Marco's not so sure about the Grimsby supporting sister-in-law.
I don't trust myself after a beer. Insults there will be slurs.
If that's not the spirit of Christmas, I don't know what is. So, very sincerely, thank you very much for Stuart Moore for organising that. I know he's put a huge amount of work in, and I'm sure that there'll be a huge amount of more work that he puts in between now and Christmas. So, he's a great friend of the podcast. So, thanks very much, Stu, and we're looking forward to beating you at the quiz. Now, we mentioned there about excellent win for the Iron on Tuesday. Obviously, Scunthorpe United fans will be hoping that we do the same on Saturday. A little feature that we've been trying to introduce, and we're hoping will become a regular thing for the podcast, like how we previously spoke to Rich, who was an excellent non-league journalist covering Newcastle Town in Staffordshire after the Irons great. I'm thrilled to say that we can cut to our good friend and usual podcast host, Andy Barraclough, who's spoken to two, not just one, but two Warrington Town experts about the Irons game against them on Saturday.
Well, a bit of a treat for you Iron fans. We're joined now by Matt Turner, writer on the Warrington Guardian. Hopefully give us a little bit of an insight as to what we can expect on Saturday when Warrington Town turn up. Thanks for joining us, Matt.
No worries, Barra. Thanks for having me.
No problem at all. So, 1-1 draw on Tuesday night against Leamington. You were there, Matt. What kind of style can we expect from Warrington as they turn up on Saturday?
It's difficult to say really, because they changed system for that game. They usually sort of play the kind of 4-2-3-1 that's become a bit common. They've done that for many years to great effect. But on Tuesday night they changed shape to a more traditional 4-4-2 and had two strikers up front. I think that was partly because of how the previous games had been going. They'd been conceding way too many goals, and the midfield was a little bit easy to play through. So I think they tried to narrow it up a little bit and try and cut down the space in there, and it worked to an extent. But you could tell they were sort of feeling their way around, sort of trying to get used to the new system. So it wouldn't surprise me if they changed back to sort of the one up front on Saturday, especially considering it's a game that they're not really expected to win, and they're probably going to not have a great deal of the ball. So they'll probably set up to try and contain. So it won't surprise me if they go back to one up front.
Interesting stuff. So you mentioned the 4-4-2 that was deployed on Tuesday night. How effective were they with getting the two strikers on the ball?
They started pretty well with it. They tried to hit the channels quite early, because the two strikers that played up front, Jez Sitoli and Joel Rodwell-Grant, are both quite quick. Neither really known for their aerial prowess, but can both get across the ground quite well. And it worked quite well in the first sort of 20-25 minutes. They hit the channels early, and they had a great deal of success, particularly with Rodwell-Grant in the right channel. And they probably could have been a couple of goals up before Leamington actually scored. But after that, it just sort of broke down a little bit, and I think that probably spoke a little bit more to the kind of maybe a lack of confidence, because they've been scratching around a little bit at the start of the year, trying to feel their way into the season. It's a very new team, and they've had a lot of injuries to deal with to a lot of experienced players so far. So it's so the lads they've got out there are very young and are learning on the job. And as you guys know, like, the National League North is a bit of a school of hard knocks, and it's not an easy league to learn on the job in. So they're trying to sort of feel their way around. So it did start well. There were positive signs there, but it kind of ebbed away a little bit. But they managed to get themselves a point, which they'll I think they just about take.
And obviously for Scunthorpe on Tuesday, we came up against Curzon. And for us, the standout player there was Isaac Buckley-Ricketts. And we know he obviously played for Warrington last season. And again, he was a standout player last season. How have the club adapted to losing him? Has it been a big loss?
Huge loss. And the short answer to it is, at the minute, they haven't. He scored 15, 16 goals last season or whatever he ended up at. And it's a big hole to fill. And, there's not a great deal of evidence that the guys they brought in to replace him, the likes of Rodwell, Grant, Sitoli, Josh Miles, who's on loan from Blackpool, that got his first goal the other night, are going to have that same kind of output. But it's not just his goal output, it's the pace he has as well. And that was a massive part of how they played. They do tend to set up in a decent shape and try and hit on the counter attack, and Buckley Ricketts' pace was massive in doing that. So they've not really replaced him yet, and I think Mark Beasley said in the summer to me, he's about as close to a replaceable as you could get. So I don't think you could match him stylistically, but in terms of that and goal output, they're struggling to replace him.
And finally, the final question for us is: any players to look out for on Saturday who will be your main threat both defensively and offensively?
Well, I think the jewel in the crown this season so far has been Matthew McDonald. He plays in the number 10 role. I think he might have played when Scunthorpe came to Warrington last year, but I don't think he played at Glanford Park. But he plays in the number 10 role, and he gets across the ground really, really well. Once he gets the ball at his feet and gets running, he's very, very hard to stop. And his movement and the positions he takes up with sort of late third man runs into the box are very, very impressive. He's got a real happy knack of being in the right place at the right time. And the goal at Leamington came from one of the driving runs through midfield that he's very, very good at. So he'll probably be there. He'll probably be the key man to look out for Warrington, I'd say.
Thank you very much for your time, Matt.
No worries, mate. No worries at all.
And we continue this segment with guest Ben Reid from the Town Reporter, who's going to give us a bit of an insight into the Yellows. Thanks for joining us, Ben. How you doing?
All good, mate.
Awesome. So, mixed bag so far this season. Warrington currently sit in 18th position. What's the season been like so far?
I'd say it's been a bit of a mixed bag, really. I think we've had quite a few decent performances. I think we got that win against Kidderminster, which was a really big 3 points. But then we have struggled, I think, for consistency. It was the first game of the season we did get beat by Kings Lynn, and we didn't really seem like we were going to offer much. And it's been the case like that in a few different games. But no, I think there's a lot of positivity around the signings and stuff, but I think it's just a bit frustrating that it's not clicking yet.
And just looking at the losses you've had so far this season, a tough game match against Needham Market, you lost 2-1. Talk to us about that game.
It just didn't seem to really go our way. We seemed like, I think for a couple of the goals, it just seemed like we were giving them I'd say a leg up. Our manager Matt Beasley said a few times, we seem to be giving a few teams an early goal or a sloppy goal, and they're getting a leg up in the game, and we're struggling to come back from that. And it's just simple errors that, I think it was Matty McDonald and Matty Gravosti, I want to say. It was a bit of a mix-up of a clearance, and they just kind of both left it, and then the Needham player scored. So it's just getting those simple things right. But we are starting to see some good football, and then Gums getting a header off the corner was nice to see. But other than that, it's just a bit disappointing.
We spoke to Matt Turner just now, and he was telling us about the formation change for Tuesday's game against Leamington. Oh, do you think you can expect that quite often this season from Warrington? Will you adapt game per game, or do you think you will try and have a set system and other teams suit to you?
I think it'll depend based on who we have available, because we did switch to a 4-4-2, which I think worked really well. I think both the forwards, Sitoli and Rodwell Grant, I think they both really worked well, and then having two wingers just coming off them. But we do have, we have Jay Harris out in the midfield. We have Clarkey out at the back, so it's gonna have to. Ollie Southern as well. He's just come back from injury, but it's just gonna have to depend, because although we did play the 4-4-2, we had 5 forwards on the pitch, and we had to play a winger at right back. So it's just kind of adapting. But I do trust Beasley. I think he's got that ability in him. But I think it won't really be a set thing. I think it's just going to have to depend on who he has available.
And you spoke briefly about the victory you got over Kidderminster. Fantastic result that for you guys. Do you think that might be as a result of the fact that they are quite an attacking team, and I would say Scunthorpe would be quite similar? Do you think that bodes well for you guys?
I think it does. I think we do. I think we tend to raise our game against a better side. I think we've shown that we showed it a bit last season, where one comes to mind. We got beat by Peterborough at the back end of last season, and we didn't offer much in a 1-0 defeat. But then we beat teams like Chester. We went on I think it was like a 9-game winning streak. So we do seem to up our game against the tougher teams. And I think it does help when they're a bit more expressive and a bit more attacking, because we just seem to find the space. But I do think we do better ourselves against the more attacking side.
And it's a strange division, isn't it? We have a few part-time teams, a few full-time teams, a couple of hybrid teams as well. How do you think Warrington fit into and adjust to that week by week?
I think it's a tough thing to have for them, because a lot of them, we still have a lot of players on the books that were there when we were a few seasons ago when we were down in the Northern Prem, and a lot of them still do. They obviously have the part-time jobs. Like I know a few of a lot of the players do. I know Danny Atherton. I can't remember what it was. I think he had a thing in the Athletic about him being delivering boxes and stuff. So I think it's having to deal with the intensity of the league, whilst also trying to uphold their lives. But they seem to be balancing it really well, and we showed it last season that we can compete in the division. But I think it's you can see a bit of tiredness in them, but I think they're going to do all right.
And finally, you just touched there about the finish last season, 12th in the league you finished. You're currently 18th. What's the fans' expectations for this season? What will be considered a good result? And what's the fans' mood kind of going into Saturday's game against the Iron?
I'd probably say survival, really. I know we don't want to see us go back down to the Northern Premier League. We've shown our quality in this division, and we've shown that we can compete. And I reckon over time, I think we could eventually see ourselves push higher. But I think right now it's just finding that stability, because last season we barely stayed up due to ground funding, and the ground regulations weren't there, and that was all fundraising that went into that. The fans all got behind it, and it just felt like a community keeping the club up. So I think just to be able to keep ourselves in this division and try and cement ourselves in this league, I think is just what we want. And if we can just make sure we stay in this league this season, I think we can look forward again to next season.
And do you fancy getting a point or even more against us on Saturday?
I don't know. We are the team. If there's any team that's going to do it, it's going to be us, because we got beat by Needham, we got beat by Farsley, but then we go and beat Kidderminster. So if there's any team to do it, it would be us. But you also beat Kidderminster, and pretty convincingly looked like as well. So
it was a tough game. It was a very close game. It was end to end. Yeah, we took our chances, and they didn't take theirs really.
Yeah, fair enough. But it'll be an interesting game. It was quite tough. I think last time I remember last time I think it was only a 1-0 loss we had at Glanford Park. But it'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting.
Well, Ben, thanks very much for your time.
Oh, perfect, mate.
Right, that was excellent. Thank you very much to Barra for that. Our spine inside camp, foot in the other camp. We're trying to come up with it for a name for this segment. Yeah, we haven't quite got one. Well, not yet anyway. Marco, have you got any suggestions?
Oh, we've gone full weeds, haven't we? So can we mention Bielsa, or trying to think?
Are you sending drones, a lad on a bucket spying in training camps?
We'll have to have a think. I quite like spying camp. It's good to have a look at, obviously, without blowing out our own trumpets, a lot of people don't know a lot of stuff about these teams are playing. So to have a little input from people who do know about the teams, it's really good. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I hope you enjoyed hearing from the Warrington Town experts. Now, we've heard from a couple of Warrington experts there. Let's go to a Scunthorpe expert. Gareth, how do you see Saturday's game going?
Oh, I was thinking about this at work today, sat on the train, and I thought with the excellent start that we've had, some fans are getting carried away. It'll be one of those games where I can see us slipping up.
Ooh.
I just think it's just, they're down near the bottom, so fans are going to be expecting to win that game for us to be, to win it. And I hope that the players don't go into the game with the same mentality. But, they've got 7 points after 7 games. It should be a walkover. I just got a niggling doubt in the back of my mind that we're going to slip up.
So Marco, Gareth there has said that he's worried that we've almost started too well. There might be a little bit of complacency. Is this a banana skin for us? What do you think?
Well, I don't know if Warrington's got a podcast, but they better get ready to clip this. I think we're running through them. I really do. I think we look good. I do think we look good, and I've been really pleasantly surprised. I mean, looking at Warrington's form, they've not won away yet this year against teams a lot poorer than us, with all due respect. I mean, they got beat at home by Needham Market, who we actually said on the podcast we think could spring a few surprises, and I think it's definitely one of them. Look, they got beat by Shields, who I wasn't impressed with as well. Amazingly, they beat Kidderminster at home as well. So, yeah, that's a good result for them. But I jest when I say run through, but I do think we'll win 2-0 again. That's my prediction. I'm going to go for a 2-0 iron, I think. But I can understand Gareth's logic. But I also agree with what he said at the start of the season, where I said I think we could be our own worst enemy. Like, look, with the squad and how we've been playing, we should be winning. There's no secret there. But I think we'll be fine. I think Butler's got him in a really good frame of mind. And look, if stuff does start to go wrong, I think we've got the players to come on. We've talked about the 5 subs. One thing I've noticed, been a lot more direct, and I think that'll help us out against teams like that. So, yeah, I'm going to go 2-0. But, Max, what do you think?
Oh, you put me on the spot. The host getting asked questions. I could certainly have been a bit in the middle, to be honest. I thought both our games against Warrington last season were quite tight. There wasn't a lot in them. They made it difficult for us to create things from open play. But a bit like Curzon, I wonder now if our clearly increased threats from set pieces might make a bit of a difference, whether or not it's a long throw or a corner or a free kick with a good delivery. I could see us maybe beating the 1-0. I think I could see it not being pretty, maybe not being the greatest performance in the world. But if we get over the line with another win, Iron fans won't care. Gareth, you were wagging your finger at me there. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, having said what I've said, that I think it could be a banana skin. I do think we will win. I think on the last pod we were asked how many points we think we'd get out of the next 3 games, and this was one of them. I said 9 points. So I still think we will win, but I don't think it's going to be a walkover. I'm going to go 2-1.
Oh, you think we're going to concede? Even that's controversial after the.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I just think that we're going to have to concede a goal at some point. There's no way we're going through the rest of the season without conceding. And I just feel that this game's one that's just going to test us a little bit for whatever reason. But yeah, I'm going to go 2-1. But last season as well, you said about them last season, they had Buckley Ricketts on the wing, who's now at Curzon. So, that's something that they've not got this time round, which is a good thing. So, but I'm still going 2-1.
Okay, quite interesting there. Marco, obviously you touched on the fact that back on Saturday, the 24th of August, so it'll only be a couple of weeks ago, that they did spring a fairly chunky surprise. They won 2-1 at home to Kidderminster, who I think most Iron fans thought looked pretty good against us. It was a game they were very competitive in for most of those 90 minutes, I would say. And as well, Kidderminster were actually a goal down. Warrington were a goal down at home to Kidderminster in that game, and they turned it round to take all 3 points against Phil Brown and interesting tasting chinos. So, if the Iron are to win the game, what do you think will be the important factors on Saturday? What would win it for us or let us down?
I think, like this season, I think our defence has been massive. I think the fact of how we're playing at the minute, those being that solid, enables to attack with a lot more fluidity. With that either being the wing backs or Colin Roberts getting into that good positions around the box, number 10, without the worry of having to cover the defence. I think Clune has been fantastic in front of that back five. So as silly as it sounds, I think the reason we might win is going to be our back five allowing our attackers to show what we can do. Because look, there's a lot of threat up there. There's a lot of talent. And so the defence of me, I've been so impressed this season. But look, it's Andy Butler. We knew the defence were going to be good, but not one goal in 7 games good. I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, and I think the irony is, from an Iron fan's perspective, actually, the one goal we did concede was really frustrating. You know, there was a big gap at the back post against Chorley, 2 men unmarked. Second phase from a set piece that we didn't quite clear. Gareth, obviously, you've mentioned before about potentially being our worst enemy. What can Andy Butler do in games like this to make sure that we avoid complacency at all costs?
I just think, driving the team from the sideline, I think Becky picked up on it in the last pod, and John Schofield does a lot of that as well. He's very animated and gets his point across to the players. So I just think, we're just going to keep a level head and make the substitutions at the right time. Because that, it happened, I can't remember what game it was, where it was a Chorley game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Where it killed the flow of the game. So, something's been learnt from that, picked up from that. But yeah, I just think we're just gonna keep a level head, and Butler's gonna do that. He's not gonna let people get carried away. I know as fans it's easy to do that, and but I don't think he's gonna be after 7 games saying to their players, "We've got this. We've walked it." Blah 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 blah. I think I read somewhere about it being a cup final every game, and that's what it is. We're just gonna keep our shape, keep doing what we know we can do. Because at Curzon the other night, it was, like I said, we were losing the ball, passing the ball to their players. I think we set off more of their attacks than they did. So we're just going to learn from that and just stay calm on the pitch. Because if we start worrying about things, that's when we lose the ball and make the mistakes. So if we can be calm and methodical and do what we know we can do, get the ball forward, we are going to cause issues for teams. So I think that's what we've got to do. Just keep doing what we're doing, and hopefully picking up more points.
Yeah, I thought you made an excellent point there about the whole club, really, not just the players, but the fans as well, staying calm, taking it a game at a time, not getting ahead of ourselves. And for any Iron fans who haven't looked at the league table recently, would point out the fact that we are now 6 points and 6 goal difference clear of seconds, which after 7 games, as Marco's his fist bump in the air, which after 7 games is a massive lead, really. Still a very, very, very long way to go. But I would draw your attention to an absolutely terrific fact. So Kidderminster are still second. They're 6 points adrift of us. However, Needham Market, who are 5th bottom with 7 points, are 6 points behind Kidderminster. So if you ignore goal difference, Kidderminster in second are as close to Needham Market in 5th bottom as they are to us. Now, if that's not a terrific start to the season, I don't know what is. Marco, you're grinning. When we started the season, did you really see us having 19 points after just 7 games?
No. Very simple answer. I think a few apologies are maybe owed. Look, I had us coming in the playoffs. Still think, without being really negative, that might be a potential. But look, let's hope it doesn't come to that. They're more than proving they're good enough to be top of that table. And we've played a lot of the teams that were rumoured to be at the top of the table. So look, there's no reason for them not to think they can win this league.
Excellent. Couldn't have put it better myself. And he mentioned potentially a few apologies if this form carries on for a little bit there, which I think is an excellent segue to our regular segment. hero, idiot, and moment of the week. Gareth, you look like you're staring intently at your notes. We'll get you going. Who's your hero of the week?
My hero of the week are the Chorley fans that travelled to Brackley. Now, there's a picture online of 4 Chorley fans that made the trip. I've had it confirmed by somebody at Brackley that there were more than 4. There was actually 9 Chorley fans. So, credit to the other 5 as well that aren't in the picture. It's a great effort. I know it's a long way to go on a Tuesday night, but you follow your team, wherever you are. If you can follow them, you go. So credit to the 9, and long may it continue. Well done.
That's an excellent one, and I am conscious of the fact that also in the podcast we recorded on Monday that Gareth also produced an excellent hero, idiot, and moment of the week for that as well. So he's not just a pretty face, good content, and he's clearly got inside sources at Brackley. He's been keeping that quiet. He's clearly got a mole on the turnstile at the away end of Brackley. So, Marco, for your hero of the week, can you compete with a mole at Brackley?
I'll do my best. I will do my best. I don't know if I want to compare him to a mole at Brackley, but mine's Nick Bell, who very kind. It's the first time I've actually met Nick, and again, it sounds like I'm being big-headed here. I still cannot get my head around people calling me by my name who I don't know due to this podcast, which is amazing, and I love it. So if you do see me at a game and you're not a dick, do say hi.
Even if you are a dick, do say hello.
Yeah, try it. But yeah, so big thanks to Nick buying me a beer. Really enjoyed being at away end on Tuesday. And to the gentleman we were talking to in the pub near the ground as well. I can't remember the name of the pub, Gareth.
Was it the Ashdown Farm or something?
Yeah, Ashfield Farm.
Ashfield
Farm. Really, just a really good atmosphere. And like I said, we speak a lot about the Scunthorpe fans, and there's no one better.
Excellent. Worth pointing out, no relation, luckily for Nick. And I think Gareth as well, I believe we've got 2 Nick Bells, both of whom are no relation, who regularly watch Scunthorpe. I think that's right.
Yes, yeah, that's correct. 2 Nick Bells. One's bald and one's got a full head of hair. And a big beard.
I've got both.
You keep telling yourself that, Marco.
No, as in I'm bald and I've got a beard.
I was going to say I like to imagine Melissa off camera just shaking her head in disgust at that.
Does that regularly?
Look, buying Marco a pint is an excellent act of charity. I like to think of it, but that can't compete with Gareth Santa there. I think the massive congratulations in order to the 9 Chorley fans who made the trip down to Brackley. And Gareth, what was the score? Did they get a win?
They won 2-0.
Oh,
2-0. So they were happy.
Excellent, even better. And I hope Gareth will be happy as well, because I'm going to give him the points, but Marco is waggling his finger.
Yeah, Gareth should get the point there, but big shout out, Nick. Thank you. We did say on not the last podcast, for one previous, we did say that Brackley game where we played and was just a blip. I do think they'll be bang up there. Their form seems to be turning now, and I do think they'll be right up there at the end of the season.
Now, a few Iron fans might look at the table.
Oh no, we got beat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm wrong. Sorry, I didn't even know that score. I thought we said they won 2-0.
Oh, they lost 2-0. Brackley.
Oh, the shite. I'll take that back. I saw the one the game before and I was like, oh, they're starting to turn now, but I didn't realize they got beat.
No, I can confirm that Brackley are in joint 17th, 7 points from 7 games with a -2 goal difference. Although they could point out that, in fairness, they are as close to Kidderminster as Kidderminster are to us.
You're not going to let that go.
So, and I would say, in fairness, the league is currently extremely tight. There are just 3 points separating 2nd and 13th at this moment in time. So I think that's a lesson for every other team that literally just a run of 2 wins or 7 points from 3 games could really fly you up at the table. But also, it would only need, let's say, 1 point from 2 games, and Kidderminster, Curzon, and Kings Lynn, who are currently in second, third, and fourth. You know, 1 or 2 of them would inevitably be really, really tight to us. So, it's like Gareth said earlier, really just taking it a game at a time and hopefully taking it a win at a time as well. So Gareth started that segment very well. He's got the point for his hero of the week. Marco, can you call one back? Who's your idiot of the week?
Oh, my idiot is me.
Oh, no.
I think it might be the same as Gareth's. Mine is definitely me, because this idiot had tickets in his basket to book to go see Italy in Belgium next month, to then realise the game wasn't in Belgium next month and was actually in Italy. I have booked this off work. I have told everyone I will be in Belgium, but I will now not be attending. It's actually in November and not October. So we are playing Belgium, but it's in Italy and not in Brussels. So
I just want to say, how have I missed this news? Like, genuinely, in our group chats, Marco was desperately saying, "Oh, I'm going to Bruges. Like, you know, Brussels will be around. Come with us." After all that, the game's in bloody Italy.
Yeah. So November, I will be in Brussels, but it'll be in November, and not great.
Okay.
To be fair, my dad said, "Imagine if you'd have just rocked up in your Italy top, with it still being in Italy."
Going, where's the game, lads? Where's the game? Okay, that's. In fairness, that is a strong shout for idiot of the week. Thank God you realised when the tickets were in your basket. Jesus.
Yeah. Thank God for Melissa.
Gareth,
Yes.
Can you compete with Marco getting the countries of Belgium and Italy confused?
Probably not, but I shall try. My idiots are the people that sort the ticket pricing out for Aston Villa's Champions League games. Just totally pricing the fan out of the games. You know, I think they're going for £85 to £97 if you're not a season ticket holder, and even if you are a season ticket holder, I think there's only like a £10 difference drop. It's just taking, you know, the piss out of the fans. In fairness, just it looks like, we're in the Champions League. We're going to be greedy. We're going to take advantage of you. We know you want to watch it, so you'll pay it. That's what it feels like. No dynamic pricing, just an outrageous price really to watch that. That's a game of football that you're paying for. That's £1 a minute. You know, you can ring telephone numbers for that sake. So, you know, outrageous.
Iron fans, perhaps listen to this of a certain generation, will perhaps be aware of the telephone lines that Gareth's hinting at for £1 a minute. And if you're not aware, go ask your parents. As excellent as, in fairness, 2 very strong shouts there. Those ticket prices are an absolute rip-off. They're the most expensive of any club in the Champions League this season, I believe. Villa fans have quite rightly been up in arms in protests, and it's a total rip-off. But they did not crucially get 2 different countries confused with each other. So I'm afraid, I'm sorry, Marco, I am going to have to give you the point there for the phenomenal self-nomination. So if you happen to be in Brussels, don't look for him. He won't be there. Right, the scores are tied. It's even at 1-1. The victory is up for grabs. Gareth, what is your moment of the week, or at least this half of it so far?
So this is a personal one for me. After 8 weeks of being a police dog, chasing Kendall round who's being a criminal, or I've been a baby laid on the floor having to cry, playing with Lego, jigsaws, whatever, it's her going back to school. That is my moment of the week. Oh. I can put my feet up and not have to worry about doing anything until she gets home. So I'm sure there's plenty of other parents out there as well that are also enjoying that moment of the week where the kids have gone back to school. And I'm happy.
I know some parents might be in denial. They say, "Oh no, I'll miss them." Oh no. Gareth is unapologetic. Yeah. Glad they're back to school. take her away from me. I've had enough.
Yes.
And to a number of Iron fans who are teachers out there, we'd just like to say thank you and tough luck. I'm afraid you've had your 6 weeks. It's now your time to shine, at least until the next half term. So very good personal shout from Gareth there. Marco, I hope I know what you're going to go for. That has literally just happened whilst we were recording. Yes, he is. Go on, go for it.
I am on the Twitter page. This will not be taken away. It is San Marino winning their first ever professional game. Competitive game, sorry. So I will quote the San Marino account. They did it. They have won their first ever competitive win. No one can take that away from San Marino. Today, San Marino wrote football history. Thank you, Sensoli. Thank you, San Marino. Forza Vitatani. They beat Liechtenstein 1-0. And San Marino, it's been coming. And they've won the first game. So, yeah, fair play.
Absolutely terrific. I believe that previously, back in the 90s, they did win one friendly. But because this is crucially a Nations League game, it's down as their first ever competitive win.
They are top of their group. If anybody wants to see.
That is, I have to say, for anybody who can't see, that is, I believe, a 3-team group in the bottom division of the Nations League of San Marino, Gibraltar and Liechtenstein. That's some group, that's some group. But massive congratulations to San Marino. I suspect their players and their staff and their fans and they're going to be partying long into the night. So how can I not go with San Marino? I'm sorry, Gareth. I'm sorry, Kendall. I'm sorry, school teachers. But if it's not, a nation's first ever competitive win, and I know that smaller nations in international football and also the Nations League does get a bit of can cop a bit of criticism sometimes, but I think games like this are why the Nations League exists. And also, just because your country's small and you don't have many people, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be allowed to take part. So massive congratulations to San Marino, and well done, Marco. You've won 2-1.
Love that.
Excellent.
Brought it back. Right,
Gareth, your reward for not winning the hero, idiot, and moment of the week is you get to promote our upcoming charity game.
Yes, we are playing on the 12th of October, straight after the Farsley Celtic game at Scunthorpe. So we're playing at Bottisford Town. I believe the gates open at 5:30 for a 5:45 kickoff. There will be a £2 minimum donation entry to get in, with all funds raised going to Sheffield's Children's Hospital Ward 5. They've been looking after young Evie Moore, who we've worked with before, raising money. They've been helping her with her. Let me just look at my notes. I don't want to get this wrong. She's been undergoing treatment for a brain tumour. So Ward 5, we're raising money for you. And it'd be great to see as many of you down there as possible. I know it's, straight after the Scunthorpe game. So instead of going to the Iron Bar, you can make your way down to Bottisford Town and maybe take another game. And hopefully it'll be a good evening. And it's for a good cause. So I hope to see you down there.
Excellent. Couldn't agree more. And for anyone who's not had the privilege, Bottisford's got a really good clubhouse. You'll be able to get food, you'll be able to get drink. And Marco, I think there's going to be an excellent raffle as well, isn't there?
Yeah, there's going to be raffles, prizes. Again, just to second what Gareth just said there, you'll see it's actually been on Scunthorpe Live in the paper, actually promoting this game. And look, we've done stuff for charities before. I know we've raised a lot of money for the club as well. But this, with the podcast, it all started with Evie. And I think it's really fitting. We can raise some more money towards Sheffield United.
Sheffield United? Bloody
yeah, I'm not giving anything Sheffield United, but yeah, Sheffield Children's Ward 5. Really, really happy to be doing this, and let's raise as much money as we can because God, they deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely. And on a personal level, I used to live really close to Sheffield Children's Hospital, and they do amazing work in the community, not just in Sheffield, but around the whole area. I know when we were growing up, a couple of my friends would regularly go there for medical treatments and so forth. So an amazing cause. And come down, help us raise, have a bit of cash, have a good laugh, and if you want, you can shout abuse at me and Marco for 90 minutes. If that's not worth £2, I don't know what is. And that's just my dad. Right, on that very happy note, Iron fans, just one final thing to do to promote. I'm very happy to say that there's still time to sign up to be a member of Irish Iron for the coming season. It costs just £13, which includes postage and packaging. Gets you membership for the 2024-25 season. Comes with a badge, a fridge magnet, a membership card, and a free entry for raffles for the Match One players' kits that they sponsor. All proceeds go to the club. You do not have to be Irish. I'm a member. Barra's a member. Bernard, who runs it, is great. You can message the Irish Iron direct on Facebook or Twitter. Honestly, they're terrific. They do so much good work. I believe Bernard's coming over at some point in the next couple of months to watch another Iron game. So, yeah, we'll put a link to their Twitter account in the description. And on that very happy note, Iron fans, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I promise Barra will be back soon. And, yeah, up the Iron.